People are quite surprised, really. I think. I don't think it's a job anyone would assume that someone does. You know, I'm quite young to be in this business, really, and people are always a little bit shocked and surprised, and it normally results in them asking me just loads of questions. It's something I've done for quite a long time now. Like, I've been working in and around funeral homes for probably best part of 7 years now. So it's things that people are quite used to, and you know, it's always a good conversation piece. Well, in the arrangement room, we'd conduct something called an arrangement interview, whereby the family would come in and discuss with us and tell us exactly what they want in terms of the funeral service. Information about family traditions, religious traditions, what kind of coffin they might want, flowers, music, newspaper notices, catering, and of course the fundamental aspects of the service, like what church we're going to be going into, or what other place of worship we're going to, and then where the cremation or burial is going to be. Well, after we've had a deceased person on the table, we always have to give it a wash down afterwards, so that's what I'm doing. This is where Mrs. Norris was earlier today, so I'm just having to give it a bit of a clean, ready for the next person coming in. Well, Mrs. Norris is, we're getting her ready to go into a coffin, so I've got to get her coffin ready for her, and as soon as that's done, she can have her clothes put with her, and we can place her in the coffin and get the coffin sealed up. Well, people are always coming to us with new requests all the time, so it's interesting some of the things that people do ask for. One thing that's becoming more and more popular is something called woodland burial, where it's pretty much like a normal cemetery, as in that you would be buried in a coffin, but the coffin would be made of something like wicker or cardboard, and you wouldn't have a normal headstone like you would do in a traditional cemetery. You'd have like a small stone on the ground to mark the place of the grave, but it'd be more common that you would have a tree planted on the gravesite instead, and over time that'll develop into a woodland environment of a forest and perhaps a flower meadow or something. So that's quite an unusual request, but something that's becoming more and more popular. All right, well, this is the coffin for Mrs. Norris. So I've just got to fit this one out, ready for her going into it in a bit. Basically what we do is we put a bit of a trim on the inside of the coffin, just to make it all look nice and comfy and elaborate. Well, this bit's just purely decorative, really. There's already a bit of plastic inside it, you know, to protect the inside of the coffin, should there be any fluids that leak out or anything like that. Everybody who comes in gets embalmed, which means that the body is preserved before the funeral happens. Well, basically it's a bit like a blood transfusion, as in that the bodily fluids get replaced with a special chemical which preserves the tissues. The blood gets removed and the fluid gets removed from all the internal organs, so that the body will be in a decent condition for the family to come and view, and for our own health and safety before the funeral happens. Well, one thing that people do during services to personalise things a little bit is to pick pieces of music that can be particularly personal to the deceased or to their family. And we have had a few very unusual requests over the years when it comes to music. Like, one that immediately springs to mind is a young lady's funeral we did, where she was a very big fan of Destiny's Child, and she had Bootylicious going in and Lose My Breath leaving the church, which was certainly a breath of fresh air, shall we say. And there was another old lady who, at the end of her funeral service at the crematorium, had How Much Is That Doggy in the Window, because she was quite a well-renowned dog breeder. So the music can be quite a big feature of some funerals. I'm just getting the chapel all set up now, ready for Mrs. Norris coming in, and Mrs. Norris's niece is coming down later. So I want to make sure everything looks right and everything's in place, ready for her arriving. because Mrs Norris isn't being viewed, we're going to screw the lid down now, and it's unlikely we'll have to take the lid off again.
What is that you're putting over it?
Well, this is a special cloth called a pall, and now because Mrs Norris isn't being viewed and because the coffin isn't open, we'd normally cover the coffin over, because a lot of people don't like being sat in a room just with the coffin, and it kind of just softens things a little bit. And you know, it's a sign of respect just to keep the coffin covered over.
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer